Public housing in America has a repair backlog of nearly $170 billion, and the worst part is not just the number, it is what that number means in real life. It means families living with mold, broken heat, faulty wiring, leaking ceilings, lead paint, broken elevators, pests, and buildings that were allowed to decay for decades while officials kept calling it a budget problem. A new report warns that roughly 1 in 5 public housing developments are actively failing federal health and safety inspections, and if that is true, then this is not just a housing problem, it is a government failure hiding in plain sight. Because public housing is supposed to be the safety net, it is supposed to be the place people can go when the private market prices them out, when rent explodes, when wages do not keep up, when families have nowhere else to land. But what happens when the safety net itself starts rotting? That is the actual story here. The average public housing unit is over 50 years old, according to the report. These are not small cosmetic problems anymore. You do not get a nearly $170 billion backlog because a few buildings need paint. You get that number because maintenance was delayed, repairs were ignored, budgets were cut, housing authorities mismanaged money, and everyone kept pushing the problem into the future. And now the future is here. This is where the political argument usually gets stupid. One side says the government needs to spend more money, the other side says public housing is wasteful and mismanaged, but both things can be true at the same time. Decades of underfunding can destroy a system, so can corruption, bad management, and no accountability. And the people who pay for that failure are not the officials who ignored the repairs. It is the families breathing in mold, children exposed to lead, elderly tenants trapped by broken elevators, and workers trying to sleep in apartments with heat that does not work. That is why the deferred maintenance is such a perfect government scandal. It does not explode all at once, it decays slowly. A pipe leaks, a ceiling stains, a heater fails, a work order gets delayed, then delayed again, then a year passes, then 10 years pass, and eventually the repair bill becomes so massive that everyone acts shocked by a crisis they helped create. And this affects people outside public housing too. When public housing units become unlivable, the affordable housing shortage gets worse. Families are pushed into overcrowded rentals, shelters, motel rooms, or the private market, where rents are already crushing people. Hospitals deal with the health consequences, schools deal with unstable children, cities deal with homelessness. Taxpayers eventually pay for the emergency version of the repair that should have been done years earlier. So the real question is not just whether America can afford to fix public housing. The question is whether America can afford to keep pretending decay is cheaper than maintenance. Because once a government lets the homes of poor families rot for decades, it is not just failing at housing policy, it is telling you exactly who gets ignored until the ceiling falls in.